Wyatt Watson with Frontstretch.com here with David Malukas, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet for AJ Foyt Racing. David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. Very, very good. It's been a shorter day than what I'm used to. We're already done, and it's like, now it's a bit later, but we were finished by 1 p.m., so it's a bit different, but it was nice to kind of just get everything and get going.
Awesome. It's good to be with you. Thank you for your time today. First of all, what does overall IndyCar racing mean to you as a driver?
Oh boy, to me it's been my dream ever since I was a kid. Growing up, it was pretending to be racing with these guys, Scott Dixon, Will Power. I was just in my living room and on my scooter, and I remember taking it inside the house when I wasn't supposed to and nobody was watching, and going around the dining room table pretending like I'm racing these guys. And now, through all a lot of hard work and money and time, we've managed to make it here and make it to IndyCar. So it's been a long journey, but this has been everything for me. This is my dream.
What led you to pursuing IndyCar over other series like IMSA, NASCAR, Formula One, stuff like that?
I've always had a big, love towards open wheel racing. I watched a lot of IndyCar and F1 growing up. Those were kind of my two main ones. So I did a lot of obviously, from once karting completed, I went to Europe and did a lot of racing over there. But you could say at that point was kind of making a decision, and I ended up deciding to come back home to IndyCar. I just had this connection, being an American. I wanted to be here at home and be with IndyCar and just be within the U.S., I guess, was kind of like the main figure. But IndyCar, I don't know, 500, there's something special about that 500, and that was kind of what was my main pull.
Everyone has that one race that really hooked them to this life. What was that race for you that stuck with you for your whole life?
The race that I've done or watched?
Or that you watched that got you on this path?
Well, as a kid, like I said, favorite I guess F1 driver at the time was Michael Schumacher, and then growing up in IndyCar it was Scott Dixon, and ended up watching through all his races, and specifically the Indy 500, going there as a kid and seeing it in person was kind of what I kind of hooked me and said, I want to do this.
What does it mean to you to share the track with your idol, Scott Dixon?
Yeah, I know. It was a surreal experience. Like I said, I'm as a kid pretending to be side by side with him, going around the dining table, which probably like turned 7 for me as a kid, and then I ended up going to real life. I remember it was St. Petersburg at Dale Coyne, which was my rookie season, first race, and we were still slow. It was like second lap, but we were side by side, going into pit lane after the install lap, and it was a surreal experience. It was kind of one of those eye-opening moments that, when you have a dream and you push for it and try everything you can, it can be achieved.
Who's your biggest supporter throughout your career in motorsports?
Has to be my parents. I couldn't have done anything without my parents. It was my dad and my mom. They came to almost every single race, no matter what the scenario was, what was going on in their work life, personal life. They always made sure to show up and support me. And it was a very tough path for everybody involved. There was, in the beginnings, a lot of money being put into it, and we had a lot of scary moments. And even from my side, we had really bad years where the performances weren't good, and you always have those commitments. So knowing that they're there and how much that they put in, it was always my main motivation, that no matter how bad things got, I knew that this wasn't a one-team band. It was everybody involved, and so much support that I couldn't give up, and I had to keep going until we made it at the end. So it was almost, I had this mindset that it was going to happen. It was just when.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your journey through racing part-time with DCR. You've been with Arrow McLaren and Meyer Shank, and now you're with AJ Foyt full-time. How much relief is that now in this stage of your career that you have a full-time opportunity in the racing series you've dreamt of racing in?
Yes, it feels good to finally feel committed and knowing that there's not this fear of where I'm at on the table. 2024 was a rough year to start, but looking back at it now, I think it was probably the best year for me, with everything that I had to deal with the hand and all these different scenarios. I think mentally for me it was a year of maturity. I changed from the driver I was back then to now. It's night and day. I don't think I could be doing the performances and driving the way I am, back in the beginning of 2024. So everything happens for a reason, and we came out of it, I think, on top. And to be here at AJ Foyt Racing, I mean, it feels very good. As soon as I came in day one, everybody treated me like family. The chemistry was there. It's a very comfortable environment, and I think it's a perfect place to help me shine and help the guys and get some performances out there.
You're a great oval racer. What puts you above some of the rest of the IndyCar talent that's racing here on the ovals compared to the street course and road courses?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened. I remember in the beginning, my first few years in the feeder series, coming up and first time doing ovals, it was they were always rough for me, and they weren't my favorites. I was always dreading looking forward to them, and all of a sudden something clicked, and I ended up understanding the game of when to attack, when to defend, how to save the tires, and setting people up. It all of a sudden, it just clicked from one race to the next, and building that confidence up. And now anytime I go to an oval, the confidence is just sky high, and I know that the performances will be there. So I don't really have a straight answer for why it's so good, but let's just say I'm happy that it is good.
You got that right. What helps you improve on the street course and road courses now that you're with a team like with Santino and with a teammate that can help bolster that talent on the road courses?
Yeah, IndyCar, it's the tough thing is you only have 2 practice sessions when it comes to weekends, so the time is very limited. And I mean, within that time, red flags can happen, and you could lock up on a tire set. You're always very limited on every scenario. So to try to understand where you unload to find a setup by the time qualifying and the race comes, you have to be on it. And to have a good teammate by my side, it's really good to try different setups, to trust each other, that we know that the feedback's going to be there. So we can almost double the workload, and find a car that can work for us by the time qualifying is there. So a lot of it is just trying to dig down and get that consistency and work from what setup we found at Thermal, and to use what we learned there to go into IndyGP and into Long Beach today.
AJ Foyt Racing is such a historic team. What does it mean to you to be part of one of the most storied race teams in IndyCar?
Well, growing up, I think everybody has these moments, like what is the very deep thoughts of, well, what is the point of living? What's my goal in life? And for me, I had this big dream and passion in IndyCar, but another thing that I had growing up was, I want to be a part of history. If I pass away and my life comes to an end, I feel like what is the one thing that would make me feel like it was a good life, and that's to be remembered in some way. So for me, it's to be remembered by being a part of IndyCar, Indy 500, winning championships. That's my dream, and to do it with none other than AJ Foyt Racing. I mean, this is a team full of history, and to say that I am David Malukas racing at AJ Foyt Racing, to see my name with a name that's already made history, it's almost something that I want myself and to look forward to, and I feel like it's just a great way to connect all the signs of what I want to be successful.
Speaking of connecting, you connect with your fans through a blog on your YouTube page. Yeah. How fun is that to engage with fans through that medium?
I mean, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, we're here to have succeed and work hard, but it all comes down to having fun at the end of the day, right? And to be myself, and to have my fans do that with me, and to bring that joy. It's a lot of fun. We can connect in many ways, and it just always makes it a good time at the track. At the end of the day, they're the ones that make IndyCar special.
You're from Chicago. How much does it mean to you to represent a city that's enthralled with not only motorsports, with the Chicago Grand Prix for NASCAR, but also just sports in general with Michael Jordan and other Scottie Pippen, other sports stars from the Chicago area?
Yeah, it feels good to bring that Chicago support in. I've always been, pushing for maybe we can get something done and get a Chicago race for the IndyCar Series would be fantastic. But we're very close to Wisconsin, very close to Indy. Wisconsin was actually a track that I grew up, with my dad racing over there in his Corvette. So we have that connection. So to me, Milwaukee's already close enough, and of course, none other than St. Louis. It's very, very close to Illinois. So we're all in the Midwest area, but it feels good to have that Chicago support, and it feels very strong that when I see these fans come to the track and say we're coming from Chicago, it kind of just gives you that extra boost of motivation that I got to bring back some good results for my Chicago fans. You mentioned
Chicago there. What would it mean to you to race also in Chicago Land Speedway? I know it hasn't been raced on in a while. What would it mean to you for a track that's so enthralled in IndyCar?
Yeah, I mean, it's I have such a core memory going there with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
We were watching. It was a NASCAR race at the time, and I was a little boy. I mean, I remember it was so loud. I started crying. I'm like, it's so loud as a kid. I remember he gave me the headset. It was so big it wouldn't even fit on my head. That's how tiny I was.
Yeah.
It was just 90% headset and then my little face.
Yeah.
And I just remember watching it, and I mean, at that time, it was so. I remember the race went into the night, and I was just so tired. I remember I was just started crying. I was like, I just want to go to bed. But at the beginning, when it first started, and how loud it was, like feeling that adrenaline as a kid, it was. I remember my eyes were like this big, just watching everything going around. It was a cool experience. And then I remember we couldn't find our car, and it took us about 2 hours to leave the speedway.
Yeah.
But just trying to blink and find it. But really good memories. So to actually come back there at some point and to say I've raced it, it'd be very cool to connect that memory as a kid, and then to say, you know what, I've grown up. I can find where I parked my car, and I've raced at the Chicagoland Speedway.
Absolutely. So now we're at Long Beach, and we're racing y'all are racing the 50th anniversary of the Long Beach Grand Prix. How special is that to you to race in this historic race?
I mean, like we've been talking about, there's a lot of history, and Long Beach is one of those places. It's always been, I think, one of the biggest events for IndyCar. I mean, when you come here and you see that the fans show up, it's intense. I mean, I struggle to even make it to pit lane with all the people here, and it's really good. I mean, as soon as I come in, the DJ's out there playing some music, I'm feeling pumped up. The atmosphere makes a massive difference, and like I said, the fans are what make IndyCar special, and Long Beach is one of the greatest races for us, so it feels good to always come here, and hopefully we can get a result out of it.
You felt like you looked like you had a lot of pace from qualifying. Do you feel like you could have made the Fast Six without the lung guard crash?
It's tough to say, but we made some good gains with the setup coming from that first round. I think the first round we kind of scraped that P6, maybe got lucky from other people making mistakes, but we found a really good setup. And I mean, with the 4 corners that I did on that push lap, it was looking to be very, very strong. But I mean, like I said, there was other drivers, Pato Ward, that still didn't get laps in, so it would have been tight, but I really do believe we probably could have made it in.
What was the difference of speed between you and Santino throughout this weekend so far?
I think, with the way things have been going, he's been having some issues with the car that they couldn't have really figured out. So it's a little bit tough to say how things have been going. We've been a bit more separated for this race, just because of the technical issues that they've been having. So it's tough to say, but it seems like they're having more of a struggling weekend from their side, from things not really clicking together, not really getting a lot of run time.
Right, last question here. What does a successful IndyCar career look to David Malukas?
Lots of wins, championships, and I mean, of course, Indy 500. I mean, that is the be all. That is what everybody wants, and everything needs to come together for it. But what better way to do it than with AJ Foyt? I mean, you have the history. They have a very great car, really good guys, and I think if we rally together, we can maybe make something special.
David, thank you for your time. Good luck this weekend, and I appreciate your answers.
Thank you very much.
Steven Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.